What is the difference between content strategy and marketing strategy? Because I think there is a big difference and people can get confused, like I definitely am.
So I would say marketing strategy is a whole system outside of just content. So when you think of content strategy, you're thinking about Facebook, TikTok, you think about Twitter, all the different platforms. Essentially, the platforms that everyone interacts with on their cell phone, every platform, newsletters, websites, that's content strategy. Marketing strategy goes outside of content. So you can think of things like billboards, if you had to put a sticker on a car or something like that. Anything experiential that doesn't happen in the side of like the online field, that's where marketing strategy comes from. It's more broad.
Hi and welcome to Talk to Me 30. My name is Nobantu Bonke. And in today's episode, I'm in conversation and sitting down with a professional creative strategist and trusted advisor. And we are going to unpack how creativity, branding, and intentional thinking can completely shape how one shows up or moves through life. Think personal branding, think business branding, and how those two are so important and pivotal in our everyday lives. Think about a brand that stands out to you the most, how they position themselves, how they are visible, how they attract clients. That's the conversation I'm going to be having today. He goes by the name of Sean Tene, and his expertise, experience, and insight is just going to give us a little bit of perspective on how we can navigate creative strategy. So get ready, because we're about to talk all things creative strategy. Thank you so much for joining me today and taking the time out to, discuss and have a conversation about a creative strategy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Feels great.
Thank you so much. We were talking outside and I mentioned that I was on TikTok scrolling and I saw one of your videos and I was like, okay, but he's dropping gems. And then I saw that on a live, I joined hosting a live rather, and I was like, I needed to actually listen to that live. So I went into my phone and literally put it on my calendar and I was like, okay, let me listen to this. And as I joined the live, you dropped some gems and I was like, I need to have a conversation with you. I need to sit down with you because I feel like it's so important in the world that we're living in now. Some people don't know how to necessarily navigate strategy personally or business-wise. I want to get to know who Sean Tene is. Who is Sean Tene? Where is he from? Where does he come from?
So I'm a Joburg native. I'm from Johannesburg. Been there all my life, and essentially started my career in film. Essentially, I really liked the idea of just cinema in general. That was like what drew me in, and also music as well. I remember we did speak about that, we spoke about music and stuff. So that was kind of like the calling card that brought me to creative strategy, and I realized that it's something that a lot of people don't have an idea about. So post my film career, which then moved into marketing and stuff like that, that's when I got into creative strategy, where I started working at an agency, which I will never mention because that was a terrible time.
Oh my gosh, pull the tea!
That was a terrible time.
Yeah, why was it so terrible? How did they treat you? How did you feel? How did they make you feel? To come to the conclusion of that, it was a terrible experience to be with that specific agency.
I wouldn't say it was the people. I would say it's just the way it's outdated, the way the systems are outdated. They overcharge for everything, and they kind of running off the basis of being an agency, being a professional agency, but not actually producing results. Especially for people who are creatives, who are artists, who run businesses, the small businesses, they all need some methods of actually getting their businesses out there, because I've encountered so many great businesses. And yeah, that was kind of what brought me to Creative Strategy and doing it on my own accord and running my own practice, because I wanted to help a lot of small businesses, small businesses that had the drive and the passion and wanted to find a way to actually put themselves out there. That became my reason for moving to Creative Strategy and leaving the agency side.
Yeah. See, I'm fine. I'm also a city girl, like through and through. I was born also in Johannesburg.
People say it's strange to be from the city.
Right? Right? So I get that a lot. It's like, no, I literally was born and bred in Johannesburg.
Exactly.
So, okay. Hi, Bestie. Okay, so I want to, before, just to help us before we break into the serious conversation, if your creativity had a personality, right? How would you describe it?
Rebellious.
Yeah?
Rebellious.
Why rebellious?
So rebellious because I technically create my own rules. Because there is this space between what is creative and what is destructive and not necessarily adding to anything. And I always predicated my creativity on being new and natural and doing my own thing and just kind of finding a way through and not necessarily doing it in a way that doesn't have any personality and like just copying and doing whatever is safe, because that's kind of where like marketing strategy is very predicated on like just copy what's working. I don't do that, unfortunately, and that's why I say rebellious, because I'm not following the predetermined rules, and that's where kind of like my creative strategy bone comes from, or just creativity in general.
Yeah. Would you say that you have lost out on work because you describe your creativity to be that way? Have you ever lost work because of that? Or have you had to confine yourself sometimes when, you get a client and you have to produce the work, obviously, to ensure that they are satisfied with the work at the end of the day?
I wouldn't say so. No, I wouldn't say so. I think that is kind of the unique mechanism of creative strategy specifically, is that the more unique and creative you are, the more likely you are to getting clients, which is why it's that's the part that makes it very different and very difficult, I guess you could say, because the systems that we're working with, very, very, very new, very, very different from what we're already used to. So at the end of the day, you have to be creative enough to create something that people haven't experienced yet. And that's kind of something that's really important in terms of like how you deliver, whether it's your artistry, whether it's your product, whether it's a service, whatever it is, you need to be extremely creative, because everything is online and you need to like grab people's attention.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, and then how do you make yourself stand out? Because there's so many people who are in a similar industry or in the same industry as you. Like, how do you ensure that you stand out from the rest?
I would say it's being yourself, honestly. I know that sounds so...
I was going to say, because it's just be yourself, you'll get the job, just be authentic.
But there's sort of a framework that everyone follows, corporate-wise, right? Be professional, dress a certain way, speak a certain way, the corporate
formalities.
Package. I didn't come with that, right? I just said, what? I'm this, like you're saying, soft-spoken person.
Yeah.
I'm to myself. I have very strong beliefs. I have a very strong direction, and I'm choosing my direction. I'm very intentional, and the be yourself cliche is much harder to grasp when you realize that being yourself also comes with consequences.
For sure.
Right? So, of course, cliche, just be yourself, but nobody's ever really free like that, right? So that's what I mean personally when I say be yourself, is that take away the stigma of being scared of how you're going to be judged, and then put yourself out there with your strong beliefs and stand on it, 10 toes down.
Yeah, the right people will gravitate towards you.
The right people will come to you.
But that's so true. As much as people say it's a cliche, but it's actually true, because who else are you going to be if you can't be yourself?
Exactly. Exactly.
What's something people assume about creative strategists that's completely wrong?
That we all just having fun, just doing whatever.
Really? People think that?
People associated with social media marketing and what would I say? Well, they don't have a grasp of what content marketing is specifically. So they just think, oh, you just post posts, or you just kind of make cool posts for people to interact with, or you just make cool TikToks, right? But a lot of it is very rooted in like data and analytics. Like most of the decisions are informed from actual data and analytics. While there is the fun part where you get to be creative, where you're not just being creative for the sake of it, but being creative for the sake of making an impact. Yeah.
And that's actually what I wanted to get into, because when you say that, I think content strategy, isn't it like a mixture of data or art and science, and then just them finding a balance somehow? What is the difference between content strategy and marketing strategy? Because I think there is a big difference, and people can get confused. Like I definitely.
Yeah. So I would say marketing strategy is a whole system outside of just content, right? So when you think of content strategy, you're thinking about Facebook, you think about TikTok, you think about Twitter, all the different platforms. Essentially, the platforms that everyone interacts with on their cell phone. Every platform, newsletters, websites, that's content strategy. Marketing strategy goes outside of content. So you can think of things like billboards, if you had to put a sticker on a car or something like that. Anything experiential that doesn't happen in the side of like the online field, that's where marketing strategy comes from. It's more broad.
Someone is looking to perhaps rebrand their personal brand.
Yeah.
Which option or method would be the best way to go? Content strategy or marketing strategy, if you're looking to, rebrand your personal brand? Yeah.
That's a good question. That's something I had to do myself. So I would say go for marketing strategy. Because then when we're talking about marketing strategy, right, that becomes, you don't want to just think about marketing. You're thinking about just life in general. Who are you in this life? When you rebrand yourself as your personal brand, you also have to fit into that. You have to fit yourself into that box or system that you want to put yourself into. So of course the way you dress is going to matter, the way you speak is going to matter, the way you act, the way you interact with people, who you interact with in the places you go. All of that is going to form a part of, okay, now I'm thinking about my marketing, right? How I'm going to rebrand myself, how are people going to receive me and interact with me. That then becomes a thing of like, when you get into content marketing and you take that photo, you take that video, everyone is resonating with every little thing that you have out there. They're looking at, whoa, this person is still that same person from then, or we don't know who this person is, or if you really think about things like your environment, everything that's around you, it kind of forms parts of like how you're going to show up to the audience.
So with you saying that, would the same also then apply for a business? Like, would a business also have to use a marketing strategy instead of a content strategy? Because I mean, at the end of the day, they are looking for visibility to attract new clients, positioning. Marketing would be the best way to go in terms of strategy or content.
That then comes down to resources. So everyone has a different set of resources. We all have what we can do and what we can't do. The big businesses, they worried about, how much they have to splurge on like network marketing or something. So network marketing would fall under marketing strategy, right? So they want to think about, okay, what are we going to do with our network marketing? What are we going to do with the billboards? What are we going to do with all these big, fancy things that costs
thousands, millions. Yeah.
Many millions. Yeah. But there are businesses out there, smaller businesses, who don't have that budget, but still want the marketing. They focus on content marketing because we have something so amazing and so free in social media. It's a free channel that every person in the world has an opportunity to hear what you have to say. Sure. And you have to make it good. That's when you focus on content marketing.
Okay. So, good. What's an unspoken truth about building a creative career that people only learn once they're in it? Or you find people that perhaps want to be in a position that you're in, be a creative strategist, but they don't know what it takes, what to study, what skills, what certifications to do. But once they're inside, what is it that they can expect? Unspoken truth.
You're going to be expected to do the boring stuff. Like, you're going to be expected to do stuff that you don't want to do in terms of paperwork, maths, data. People think that doesn't apply to creativity. And yeah, sure, there are pure artists where you can just go in and just be an artist. That's cool. But if you're like me, going into creative strategy, you're using your creativity as your crutch, as your unique selling point. In order for it to be profitable and worth it, and for you to make a career out of it, you have to understand the business. You have to know the business. I didn't understand the business when I started. I made a lot of mistakes. But going forward, giving myself the opportunity to learn, analytics, to learn data, to learn, business structures are a huge part of it. Business operations is a huge part of it. Unit economics is a huge part of it. These are things that they will never tell you. You just see what happens in front of your face in terms of, oh my God, that's an amazing post. Oh my God, that's an amazing DJ, artist, rapper, business.
This can apply to many different industries.
Services, everybody. They don't see the part where they did a whole bunch of structuring in terms of brand, in terms of marketing that got to that point. So you have to be the person that gives yourself the time and effort to learn that part.
Do they even offer subjects like that at universities now?
Creative strategy is not something you can study. You can learn digital marketing. That's where it starts. That's the beginning of it. Digital marketing, and then you can kind of walk your way through understanding where their creative strategy falls in that whole ecosystem. But also, you learn digital marketing online. You can do it at...
You get certifications via Google as well.
You can do it at UCT. You can do it at Chartered Institute of Marketing. And then the one creative strategy certificate you can get is from this program called Motion Bootcamp. I went through it. I'm actually in it right now. And that's where you kind of get a certificate to be a certified creative strategist.
Okay, what does that certificate entail? Like, what are you doing?
So you essentially learn every little aspect that goes into creative strategy, from ideation, research, briefing, execution, creative analysis. Wow, there's so many modules. There are so many modules, to the point where you're delivering, to the point where you come back to reporting and you go to understanding, okay, what are we missing? There's so many different aspects of it. It takes a while to learn, but it's so worth it because you get the opportunity to see every aspect of what is creative strategy and why does it even matter.
Oh my gosh, that's so powerful. And how long is the certification?
It's about 12 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if you're really determined, you can actually just do it.
If you do it every single day for the 12 weeks,
So you got yours and you're happy. And has it assisted in perhaps getting more clients, or just,
I'm honestly doing it for vanity metrics. So I'm doing it just to say I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing creative strategy for years.
Yeah, it's a good boost.
So it's just kind of like, like Notion is the certified creative strategy hub. Like if you talk about creative strategy, the first thing you see is Notion. It's basically an app. They are kind of like the certified hub of creative strategy.
So you know what you're talking about.
So I was already like connected with a lot of the people at Notion, and I was already learning from them. They were teaching me stuff, and they got me jobs too on their end. And I was just like, okay, you know what?
Yeah, and you did mention that you come from a history of being a creative because you were in film. What or why did you decide to move from film and become a creative strategist?
So film was great. Film still is great. I still love film. I'm still into cinema. However, there's so I think in 2021, there was a writer's strike that went on. I'm not sure how many people heard about that, but there was a writer's strike. There was kind of a shift happening because of AI, and a lot of people were losing jobs. A lot of people were losing their place in the film industry, and so pay was going low. And I was just like, I don't want to be stuck in a place where I can't continue to profit off of my work, because this is something I truly believe, that every creative should be able to profit off of their work. Because at the end of the day, if we live in a capitalist society, we still need to survive.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So you should allow yourself to be creative and still be profitable at the same time. So now I was allowed to be creative, however, I didn't have the profit. I wasn't getting the profit that I believed that I deserved. But at the same time, it was a thing of like I had reached the limit. Like I've done everything that I would feel like, because I was in editing and color grading music, cinematography. I was doing it all, it was getting old. So I was just like, I needed something more challenging.
You had reached your peak at that time.
For myself, yes. For myself personally, not for the industry.
Yeah. So how do you stay creative without losing yourself, trying to keep up with trends and constant pressure, to produce?
You stay educated, keep reading books.
You're an avid book lover. What are you reading right now? Fiction, non-fiction?
Philosophy.
I
was reading Machiavelli not so long ago. There's a book that's kind of controversial, but it's called Lucky Loser.
Lucky Loser?
Yeah. It's a book about Donald Trump.
Oh,
and
okay.
life and fortune.
You should have just said loser.
So it's kind of a book about how he squandered his father's fortune. But it's kind of a controversial choice. But I love talking about that book because it kind of gives you a glimpse into what it looks like to be persuasive enough for people to believe you. Because people absolutely hate Trump. But he's the president of America. So it's like, how? Exactly.
Oh,
how?
That's so true. Yeah.
So there's that. There's reading books. And then there's also the fact that I'm always looking at, I'm enhancing my taste in whatever I like.
Oh, essentially. Okay.
Yeah. So I have a whole palette of things that I grew up being interested in. So from the music side, Kanye West, love Kanye West. I love Virgil Abloh, the fashion designer. I love Heron Preston. He was Virgil Abloh's assistant before. Heron Preston was great. There's another designer who was under Virgil. It was Sam Ross. Sam Ross was under Virgil Abloh as his assistant before he created his own brand. Then Heron Preston's a different artist. And then I also love art. Yeah. Like Van Gogh. I love Van Gogh. I love music, near future, like Rick Rubin or something like that. So that's what I mean by enhancing my taste in what I love, is that I know what I like. How can I find everything else that informs my taste? Right? So it's like, okay, I like the color purple. But why do I like the color purple? What makes it so special? What other aspects has purple been used in terms of art, in terms of music, in terms of fashion? So those little things, those little intimate, intricate things are what kind of form my taste and like it's expanding and then inform my creative decisions too.
And how you implement it into your work.
Exactly.
Okay. So what's one mistake people make when building a personal brand, and how can creative strategy help them stand out authentically?
The one mistake that...
And actually, let's apply it to a personal brand and a business.
Personal brand and business.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is something that I always say, or I always mention, is that a lot of businesses and brands, what they don't realize is that they have competitors. Well, they probably know they have competitors, but what they don't realize is how limited the people's attention span and their like how much you can actually grab of someone's interest, right? They don't have a concept of like you actually have to have someone interested. You have to be a value creator. And this is whether you're a business or a personal brand. You need to have something that if you saw me today, would it impact you within that whether that's 30 seconds of meeting me or an hour of meeting me? How much impact am I going to have in that short period of time that you have with me, right? And that's besides whether I'm trying to sell you anything, whether I'm trying to grow a brand, a business, whatever the case may be. If I can create an impact on you, that's going to be so much more important in the long run. So the mistake businesses are making is that they only care about their own profitable wins. Like, oh, like if I post this, people are gonna love it. Should make a lot of money. Everybody's gonna want to buy it from. Problem is, nobody wants to buy anything from anyone.
People are conscious about their money and
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like people are only spending money on things that align with them, and that's businesses are kind of like thinking of it as long as you buy it, I'm giving you your money, I'm happy. But have you considered why this matters to someone? Have you considered what your business or what your brand matters to someone, right? They want to integrate it into their life. The shoes you wear, the phones you use, the everything.
The makeup you use, everything. Yeah.
It's all a part of someone's lifestyle. And if you cannot create a brand that integrates into someone's lifestyle, there's no way they're going to give you their money. There's no way they're going to invest in general.
Don't relate to it.
Exactly. But if you do something that is valuable and that makes someone feel like, wow, this is going to enhance my life, that's the shift that businesses need to make. That's the mistake brands are making. Well, I can speak for personal brands as well, saying like, yo, people just want to post about themselves, like, oh, I got myself this new car. Oh, but like, why does that matter to someone, right? So if you can think about why it matters to the person you're trying to impact, that's going to make a huge difference.
That is so deep, because when I think about it, it's almost like, or it feels like you need to also add like some sort of emotion behind your strategy, because like you need to, or you want to get a reaction out of them to be invested in whatever it is that you started, whether it be personal or business.
Yeah. It is an emotional pursuit, yeah.
So let's just say for business owners who are perhaps overwhelmed or feel overwhelmed by content and marketing, where should they start? Where should they start when creating a strategy that actually connects with people and helps them grow overall as a business?
So you have to think about how your product or your service integrates with someone's life. Right.
Let's maybe say a young lady who's in her 30s, just started a bakery, and she is not sure how to get the messaging across for her business. She wants more visibility and she wants to attract clients. What strategy would you suggest she does or incorporate in order for her, to take the right steps to go in that direction, which will experience more visibility and attract more clients organically and authentically?
Okay. So I would say create an experience, your product, right? You just started your bakery. You want to be able to show the process essentially of building this business. You don't have to be extremely detailed and tell everyone everything about your business, but at least the aspects that make someone feel like they will care. So aspects that someone will care about is people want to support local businesses. People want to support a young lady. They want to support where it comes from. Maybe you're in a specific location, right? So you have to have a story behind your brand and your business to begin with as to why are you even starting this bakery besides money. Of course, like if you're starting a business, you're starting to make money. But if you're going to go beyond money, if I'm going to take a moment to say, I want to support this business, I'm going to be thinking about like, oh, I remember that lady told me that she's from Social Ngube, she's from this area, she's from that area. I'm from there. I would like to support someone from my hometown. Or I'm from the restaurant. I want to support someone from where I come from, right? She told me also, like, she built the bakery with the kitchen cutlery that her mom gave her. Yeah. You know what I mean? That connection, people feel connections, right? People feel a connection to what that brand is. So when you go into your social media marketing, it's like already you have your brand architecture set up, meaning you know what your logos are, you know who you're speaking to, you know who the target market is, you have to know who you're speaking to.
Your niche, basically.
You have to know your niche, right? And then you go in there and you start to really talk about that process that I just spoke about. Yeah. And then at the same time, be able to be some informative or insightful in some way. People today, to this day, people are still learning to bake, right? You can always show people how to make your own recipe. If you want to gatekeep that, that's fine. You don't have to show. You don't have to show the recipe. Yeah. But you have to kind of show something that shows someone the care that goes into making this one batch, right? Have you seen the Lint adverts? Yeah, they show like how the chocolate is made. Yeah. A lot of businesses can go a long way by being able to bring someone into their world. So it's the idea of like world building, right? The behind the scenes, talking about, oh, we got our first order, we got our 10th order, we got our 100th order, we got a caravan now, we're setting it up there, or we're thinking of this, or we would like to do that. Being able to speak about your experiences. And if you don't want to be the person speaking about it, just get your customers to speak about it, right? Just be like, hey, do you mind sending me a video about this, how you feel about that? Yeah. That can be your content. And a lot of food businesses, I've seen a lot of food businesses doing it really well, and a lot of businesses just not doing it well enough. But the one simple truth of doing like a bakery type business that you want to bring people into that the whole process. Yeah.
So with the clients that you have worked for or worked with, who has been your most favorite? And why?
Most favorite client to work with? Wow. It was a fashion brand. That let me have so much creative control. It was an overseas fashion brand. I wouldn't call it a fashion brand, but they were kind of like a creative hub. They had a fashion brand that kind of worked in the fashion industry, the fashion side. It's called Radar. So Radar, RAYDAR. Okay. So they really amazing. Like they have a magazine. I also worked on their magazine. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Radar. That's nice. Yeah.
And they had like a whole bunch of like fashion stuff going on, and they let me have so much creative control. Like they would give me a brief on like, okay, we just created this capsule and we also want to put it up on the website. So can you work on the main page, on the landing page, and then also work on how we're going to deliver it to social media. And I'm like, oh, but you didn't tell me what I need to do. It's like, that's up to you.
Yeah. Wow, okay.
I had so much fun doing
it. Okay, that's cool. I also want to just, before we close things off, If you could recommend to someone who perhaps wants to get into, who wants to be a creative strategist, what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of being in the space, especially based on your own experience?
The advantage is that you basically you kind of choose your system. So creative strategy is fairly new, so you get to kind of honor people like implementing stuff. And I think that itself, outside of that being like a very technical side of it all, you get to be very modular, like, oh, I like using Photoshop, so I want to integrate Photoshop into this or that, whatever technical tools. If you're a photographer, you can implement that. If you're a videographer, you can implement it. Like anything that you have, it's going to be very useful in creative strategy. So you get to do that, and also be very like you can basically like charge based off of like what do you feel in terms of how that aligns with whatever kind of client you want. So you get to choose your clients essentially. And then disadvantages, you work all the time. All the time, every single day. There's no days off because it's an industry that requires in terms of watching what is going on every single time.
Being available basically 24/7.
Yeah, not exactly available, but kind of like being able to receive and interact with the information in a way that's like, okay, this is I can implement this somehow for one of my clients. So even right now, while we're having this conversation, I'm thinking of things that I can implement. Like I'm always on the job. So the best creative strategists live it as if it's alive.
Even before we even started with this, you got called and we're like, okay, what's this? And I'm like, hey, okay.
On it every single time.
Yeah. But that doesn't sound like such a bad disadvantage, really.
I mean, they're kind of.
Hey.
If you have relationships.
Yeah.
Chop. You just don't have them.
Yeah. So 5 years from now, in your own, view or own perspective, do you think AI will have a huge influence on being a creative strategist? Because we can see how it's advanced over the years. Right now people implement AI in music. People implement it almost everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you think AI would ever overpower the actual role for someone who's a creative strategist, or it would just be used as a tool like any other industry to just add value or, get recommendations or whatever the case may be?
For AI, it's a part of creative strategy. So there's no like, well, AI overpower. It's part of it.
It's part of it.
It's part of the field. Like I'm not going to say you can't do creative strategy without AI. I can definitely do it, but it's way harder.
Why? Why is it harder?
So creative strategy is predicated on the simple fact that before creative strategy as an idea was really mainstream. I think it's mainstream now, even though a lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people are investing into it now. Before people were investing into it, you would hire multiple different departments in terms of CMOs, in terms of our production team, in terms of creators. We still hire creators, but like there's media buyers. Media buying is part of creative strategy. There's the analytics people, there's the web developers, there's CRM, there's so many people you have to hire, which you can do basically 90% of that with AI now. So it's like, as a creative strategist, you just have to be the one person who can take over all these roles in a short amount of time. So if you have to do a campaign over a month, instead of hiring all these people to do that campaign over a month, you hire a creative strategist to do it over a month. And that's just about it. So the AI implementation is the fact that you can do analytics with AI. It doesn't take a week anymore. You can do it in a couple of hours. You can create a website in a couple of hours. You can create content in a couple of hours. And I'm not saying like create like AI content. No, I personally don't like the AI content. I don't believe in it. But you can kind of use it to aid how you're doing it. So once you hire the creator and the videographer to do the work, then you can use AI to kind of, you don't have to do you don't have to spend hours editing. You can just use AI to do that. So you can use AI for a lot of things. And that's where the creative strategist has more advantage. But at the same time, like AI is going to, the better it gets, the better the creative strategy is going to get.
But what's a fine line, in your opinion, with regards to AI when it comes to personal branding and to business owners? Like, isn't there a thin line when it comes to how often or how you use AI? Because now you can find businesses who literally incorporate AI when it comes to their marketing, when it comes to their content, and it's visible. Isn't that hurting a business or hurting a personal brand, because they can see that, hey, my man, you should have used a graphic designer instead of AI to generate a poster,
That's what I was saying about taste earlier. All the different brands have their own different images. You can use AI, create posters, and every company's going to have the exact same poster. But hire a creative strategist to use that same AI to create a unique brand that's unique to you and stand out from everybody else. So there is the fine line of like, yes, AI can do it. Everybody's been using AI to do everything. But it doesn't work for most people. For 80% of people, they're like, oh, this is AI, I don't like this. But there's times when AI has been used so tastefully and so intentionally in terms of like, what are we actually using this for? Are we saving time? Are we saving money? Are we saving resources? Helping the person who's doing the work. Like, you can be a graphic designer working on a poster who will use AI to make your poster even better. That's just what AI is for. It's just to slim down the time and make whatever it is that you're doing better. It's not to replace.
Because in some instances, when people use it for branding, they replace the entire thing with AI. And it's visible. But that would hurt an individual or business, right?
That's 100% hurt the business. I'm never going to dispute that AI is useful.
For sure.
It's useful for. But there is a place where it's like, what decision are you making? And what is the intention behind this, right? What message are you delivering? It's all about your message. It's all about exactly how it's improving the thing that you've already decided for yourself, right? So, I mean, if people say, oh, that looks AI, that's simply because you didn't put any thought into it.
100%.
You didn't put any effort into it.
Okay. No, thank you so much for joining me today. Before you leave, if anyone wants to get in contact with you, for your services, how can they reach
you? Email. SeanTeneBiz@gmail.com.
SeanTeneBiz@gmail.com.
SeanTeneBiz@gmail.com. Or just my social media. My social media is all Sean Tene.
Sean Tene, you heard that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me yet again.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I was in a conversation with Sean Tene, a professional creative strategist and a trusted advisor. And that's where we leave it, boys and girls. Catch you again in the next episode.